Jesus gave us commandments, but they weren't meant to be just rules. They were meant to guide us towards a deeper understanding of what it means to live a life of purpose and meaning. They are more like guideposts, showing us the way to a fulfilling and meaningful life. They point us towards a life of love, compassion, and empathy for others, a life that reflects the heart of God filled with peace and serenity. This isn't about following a rigid set of laws or adhering to strict regulations. It's about embracing a way of living that transforms us from the inside out, bringing us closer to our true selves and to God. When asked about the greatest commandment, Jesus didn't hesitate. He spoke with clarity and conviction. He said it was to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. This is the foundation of our faith. This is not a suggestion, it's an invitation to open our hearts and minds to the divine, an invitation to experience the fullness of a life lived in relationship with God, where every moment is infused with His presence. But what does it really mean to love God in this way? How do we embody this love in our daily lives? It's more than just words. It's about actions that reflect our devotion and commitment. It's about a deep, abiding commitment that touches every part of who we are, influencing our thoughts, actions, and interactions with others. It's a love that consumes us and flows out of us, impacting every aspect of our lives from our relationships to our work and beyond. This kind of love requires intentionality. It requires us to be mindful and deliberate in our actions. We must choose it every day, making a conscious effort to live in a way that honors God and reflects His love. And as we do, we'll find ourselves transformed by the power of His love, blossoming into the people we were always meant to be. To love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength might seem like a tall order, but it's the most natural thing in the world when we understand who God is. He is love, and we are created in His image. This means that at our core we are designed to reflect His love and goodness. Our spirit, the deepest part of us, yearns for connection with our Creator. This yearning is a profound and intrinsic part of our being. It's in our spiritual DNA to seek Him, to know Him, to be loved by Him. This seeking is not just a duty, but a delightful journey of discovery. This connection is what gives our lives meaning and purpose. Without it, we often feel lost or incomplete. Our soul, the seat of our emotions and desires, also plays a vital role. It is through our soul that we experience the depth of our relationship with God. When we love God with our soul, we allow our emotions to be engaged in our relationship with Him. This emotional engagement brings our faith to life. We feel joy in His presence, peace in His promises, and comfort in His care. These feelings are not fleeting. They are profound experiences that anchor us. Engaging our spirit and soul in our relationship with God transforms us. It shapes our character, influences our decisions, and guides our actions. This holistic love for God, encompassing heart, soul, mind, and strength, leads us to a fulfilling and purposeful life. It is a journey worth embarking on every day, so let us embrace this journey with open hearts and willing spirits, knowing that in loving God fully, we find our true selves. The Bible is filled with examples of people expressing their love for God through their emotions. David danced before the Lord with all his might. The Psalms overflow with expressions of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Jesus Himself wasn't afraid to show His emotions. We see His anger at injustice, His compassion for the hurting, and His deep sorrow over the death of His friend, Lazarus. In His letters to the churches in Revelation, Jesus speaks directly to the importance of emotional engagement in our relationship with Him. To the church in Ephesus, He commends their deeds but challenges their lack of love. To the Laodiceans, He expresses His grief over their lukewarm faith, a faith devoid of passion and zeal. Loving God with our mind means we seek to understand Him more deeply. We study His Word. We learn about His character and His ways. We engage in honest, open dialogue with Him through prayer. But loving God with our minds goes beyond intellectual assent. It's about cultivating a heart of gratitude for who He is and what He has done. It's acknowledging His goodness, His faithfulness, and His love for us. When we truly grasp the depth of His love for us, our hearts are filled with overwhelming gratitude. This gratitude spills over into every aspect of our lives, shaping our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Loving God with our strength is about dedicating our physical energy and resources to His service. It's about using our talents, our time, and our possessions to further His kingdom. This doesn't mean we have to live lives of exhaustion and busyness. It's about aligning our priorities with His. It's about making choices that reflect our love for Him. It's about serving others, sharing our faith, and being His hands and feet in a world that desperately needs His love. It's about living each day with purpose and intentionality, knowing that our lives have meaning and value because we are loved by the Creator of the universe. The second greatest commandment is inseparable from the first. Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." This is a radical concept. It means valuing others as highly as we value ourselves. Our neighbors aren't just the people who live next door. They are the people we encounter every day, the coworker, the cashier, the person who cuts us off in traffic. Loving our neighbors means treating them with kindness, compassion, and respect. It means extending grace and forgiveness, even when it's hard. It means looking beyond ourselves and our own needs to see the needs of those around us. Loving our neighbors is easy when they are loving, kind, and respectful in return. But what about when they're not? What about the people who are difficult to love? Jesus didn't say to love our neighbors only when they deserve it. He called us to love unconditionally, just as He loves us. This is a challenging concept, but it's at the heart of the Christian faith. We are all flawed human beings, capable of great love and great selfishness. When we remember this, it becomes easier to extend grace to others, even when they don't deserve it. We can't manufacture this kind of love on our own. It's not a human construct, it's a supernatural gift, a gift that flows from our relationship with God. When we place our faith in Jesus Christ, His love begins to transform us from the inside out. The more we experience His love, the more we are able to love others. It's a natural overflow of His grace in our lives. True Christian faith isn't just about believing certain things, it's about being filled with the very love of God. And that love compels us to love others, not because we have to, but because we can't help it. Living out these commandments isn't about achieving perfection. It's not about ticking off a checklist of good deeds or striving to meet an impossible standard. It's about embracing a journey of transformation, a continuous process of growth and renewal. It's about allowing God's love to work in and through us, changing us from the inside out. This love is powerful and transformative, capable of reshaping our hearts and minds. As we grow in our love for God and others, we'll find ourselves becoming more patient, more understanding, and more compassionate. We'll become more kind, more forgiving, and more willing to extend a helping hand to those in need. We'll be quicker to extend grace and slower to judge, recognizing that everyone is on their own unique journey. We'll see the world through the lens of compassion, seeking to understand rather than to condemn. We'll strive to build bridges instead of walls. This transformation won't happen overnight. It requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to be molded by God's hands. It's a lifelong process of surrendering to God's work in our lives, allowing Him to shape us into the people we are meant to be. But as we surrender, we'll discover the incredible joy and freedom that comes from living a life defined by love. This love will guide us, inspire us, and ultimately transform us into reflections of God's grace and mercy. Loving God and loving others isn't a passive activity. It requires intentionality. It means making choices every day that reflect our commitment to living out these commandments. It's about choosing forgiveness over bitterness, kindness over judgment, and compassion over indifference. It's about looking for opportunities to serve others, to share our faith, and to be a source of hope and encouragement in a world that desperately needs it. It's about living each day with purpose and intentionality, knowing that our lives have meaning and value because we are loved by the Creator of the universe. Jesus' commandments aren't about burdening us with rules, they are about setting us free to experience the fullness of life that God intends for us. They are an invitation to a life of love, joy, and purpose. As we seek to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and as we love our neighbors as ourselves, we will discover the transformative power of God's love in our own lives. We will become more like Jesus, who perfectly embodied these commandments, and in doing so, we will reflect His light into a world that desperately needs it.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment, and if you are not subscribed, subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to not miss any videos like this one.